in public. All terminals are smoke-free. Smoking is permitted at designated curbside areas only.
Por la salud y la comodidad del público viajero, no se permite fumar dentro de las terminales, solamente en las áreas designadas del cordón de la acera.
Orange beet juice. Disgusting. This is nasty, but I think it's good for me. This is nasty, but I think it's good for me. So Kamala Harris and the President, Joe Biden, wants to address prohibition against rainbow ganging in Africa as a human rights abuse. The United States of America considers African nations' refusal to endorse rainbow ganging as a normal form of romance as a human rights abuse. Dear President Biden and Vice President Harris, I have a question. How were you able to skip over the human rights abuse of police genocide? How were you able to skip over the human rights abuse of mass incarceration? How were you able to skip over the human rights abuse of miseducation? How were you able to skip over the constitutionally protected rights of American Africans? How were you able to skip over America's genocidal campaign against African people? Isn't genocide a human rights abuse? You are engaged in genocide against the American African. But you don't address your genocide against the American African. You don't address your medical genocide, your criminal justice genocide, your educational genocide. You don't address your economic genocide against African people. You don't deal with any of your human rights abuses, but you run to Africa. You run to my mother country, my mother continent, and you tell them that refusal to endorse rainbow ganging is a human rights abuse and may result in the loss of funding. What hypocrites. What hypocrisy. And hypocrisy is nothing new in the United States. But how dare you not address your abuses against American Africans? You haven't dealt with any of the problems. How about the fact black women in America have one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world? How? In the so-called most developed, most medically advanced nation, how is it black women are delivering deceased babies more than the women of most countries around the world? That's genocide. COVID vaccinations, you putting AIDS in our homosexual males, genocide. Miseducation, genocide. Mass incarceration, genocide. But you don't deal with that. Instead, you run to Africa and say they're guilty of human rights abuse because they don't want to sanction rainbow ganging, but you over here destroying black people. You over here destroying the lives of black people every day. Human rights abuses uncountable. And now the American dollar is losing its power. Now the American dollar is losing its power. So the question is, are you going to try to assassinate Putin like you did Gaddafi for floating a dollar currency backed by natural minerals? Or are you going to try to assassinate the Chinese prime minister for creating a currency backed by natural resources? Because Russia and China are doing what Africa was doing with Gaddafi. But you're not strong enough to assassinate Russia or China. So now your karma has come back. And black people, let me say this to my American Africans. Some of you are applauding the descent of the dollar. Some of you are applauding the descent of the dollar, and I would say be careful about that. I don't have a problem with the dollar losing its value, but there's going to be repercussions here because of that. There will be economic repercussions in America because of that. Things are going to get more expensive. The cost of goods is going to go up. Jobs are going to continue to go down. And we are going to suffer more than anyone else because of this. So let us get organized. Let us get organized. See, the problem with the American Negro and most formerly enslaved people, you are so traumatized by white power that you can't see a future that is not run by it. Let me say that again. I'm giving you the psychology of oppression. When your people have been enslaved, dehumanized, Jim Crowed, Willie lynched, segregated, exterminated, marginalized, all you know is 20 centuries of white domination. That's all black people know. Globally, for the past 500 years, the pale man has ran the planet. For the past 500 years, the pale man has ran the planet. So for most Africans, globally, I'm going to talk about this tonight at the University of Curacao. I'm going to talk about this tonight at the University of Curacao, 7 p.m., Caribbean Africans pull up. Jamaica, hop on that plane. Bahamas, hop on that plane. Bermuda, hop on that plane. Haiti, hop on that plane. African Ricans, hop on that plane. Dominicans, hop on that plane. St. Kitts, St. Lucia, St. Martin, St. Thomas, St. John, hop on that plane. But we've been so traumatized by white power, we can't see a world not run by the pale man. So most of us are going to laugh off this BRICS situation. We're going to laugh off the descent of the dollar. That's not the problem per se. The problem is we're not going to get serious because we don't think our slave master could ever lose his power. He's losing it, and he's losing it in front of your face. And you're going to suffer because of it. It's going to be a slow bleed. This is going to be a slow bleed. It's not going to have, it's going to be a slow bleed. Now the CIA. How we doing, good brother? Good to see you, man. Now the CIA, some of you call it Central Intelligence Agency. I call it the coup instigation organization, because all they do is go to African countries and overthrow presidents who don't do what America want them to do. Or we can call it cocaine import agency. Cocaine import agency. Or the coup instigation organization. The CIA The CIA is going crazy right now because they got to find a way to break up this BRICS thing. The CIA is going crazy right now. They got to find a way to break up BRICS. They got to do something to turn Russia against China or China against Russia. They got to get India to pull out. They got to get Brazil to pull out. The CIA is having a nightmare right now. I can only imagine what's going on at the CIA right now. But my dear Africans,
Ladies and gentlemen, for traveling to Maui, flight 42, please proceed to C90
my
for
dear
boarding.
Africans,
Once
we
again,
have a
Maui,
problem
flight 42,
because
please proceed to C90 for boarding.
we don't want to organize. We are still not organized. We are still not building institutions. We are still not fighting our major problems. Look at you, YouTube. Go on YouTube and see if you see anybody black talking about solutions to our major problems. Go on YouTube right now. Go on YouTube. You got 5 major intellectual masturbation clubs on YouTube. You have 5 major intellectual masturbation clubs. You got the reparations club, waiting on the white man to give them a check. I support reparations. But while you're waiting, you need to be doing something with the money you already have. While you're waiting for reparations, you need to be doing something with the money you already have. While you're waiting for reparations, you need to be doing something with the money. So the whole reparations intellectual masturbation thing, I'm over that. I'm over that. You don't deserve it because you're not doing anything with the money you already have. In my opinion, nobody gets reparations. This generation of Africans, we don't get reparations until we do something constructive with the money we already have. We haven't built no relevant institutions in 55 years, but you want some money from, no. No. So that's the one intellectual masturbation club. Then you got your history buffers. These the Negroes who debating history and reinventing history, and I'm not from Africa, I'm a pretendian, I was already here. Okay, you're wrong, but let's just say that you're right. You're absolutely wrong, but let's just say that you're right. Let's say you were already here. Let's agree that you are a pretendian. What problem are you solving by calling yourself a Native American? Can somebody name me one problem that has been solved by black people calling themselves Native Americans? I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. What problem? Have you solved miseducation by calling yourself a Native American? Do you think the police going to stop killing you because you call yourself a Cherokee or a Choctaw? What problem have you solved? Have you solved gentrification and homelessness, unemployment? Huh? Economic. What problem has been solved by you calling yourself a Native American? You are an intellectual masturbator. That's all you are. You don't deal in problems. You deal in theories, and you scapegoat to history so you don't have to do nothing in the present time. Beware of the historical intellectual masturbators. Beware of them. Because what they do to escape responsibility in the now, to escape responsibility in the now, to escape responsibility in the now, they go run back 5,000 years ago, 500 years ago. I'm trying to prove we not from Africa. What problem are you solving? What practical major issue are you solving? You're not solving anything. You are a scapegoat artist. That's what you are. You are a scapegoat artist. Run away from your problems today by escaping to the past. That's your second intellectual masturbation club. So we got the reparations intellectual masturbation club. We got the historical intellectual masturbation club. Then we got the economic hustlers. They got economic solutions, but no bank. Economic solutions, no credit union. Economic solutions, no investment club. Online schools and all this other shit. It ain't practically addressing no relevant economic issue that we are having right now. I'm going to call it pseudo-economists. We got the pseudo-economists. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't got no problem with brothers talking about economics. That's okay. But put some solutions. I talk about miseducation. I have a school, solution. Parent association, solution. Black parent boot camp, solution. Teleconference, solution. I provide solutions for my expertise. Education, mental health, I provide solutions. So you got your pseudo-economists, your reparations opportunists, your historical scapegoat artists. Then you have your higher power hustlers. That's what I'm gonna call them. They deal in all things religious and divine. Your divinity dollar chasers, your higher power hustlers, your divinity dollar chasers. They don't solve no problems either, but they want to beat you over the head with their religion all day, all night long. Ain't solving no problems. Ain't solving no problems, but they want you to join their religion or believe in their particular approach to spirituality. The spiritual hustlers. All over YouTube, talking about how you can astro travel and talk to the aliens, and we the tribe of this or the tribe of that, and dress like this, wear your hair like this, and study this book, you'll get closer to God, and meditate this way. Nah, family. More scapegoat artists. More scapegoat artists. Are you dealing with miseducation? Are you dealing with mass incarceration? Are you dealing with police extermination? Are you dealing with economic miseducation, mass incarceration, gentrification, police genocide, economic apartheid? Not dealing with none of them. We just going to deal with religion. You want to be the woke TDJ. You want to be the woke version of TD Jakes. You want to be the woke Creflo. Religion is still religion. Institutions of mind control. I don't care how you cut the cake. Show me any Negro who ever started a religion, and I show you somebody who wanted to control people's minds. Religions do not liberate. They incarcerate. I'm going to say it again. You can't show me a single religion, not one of them. Mainstream religions, world religions, black nationalist religions, all religions incarcerate their members spiritually and intellectually. They do not want you to study. They do not want you to challenge. They do not want you to think. Religions are institutions of mind control, spiritual incarceration. So that's your higher power hustlers. No solutions. See, that's why these Negroes hate me. Because I'm a walking solution. I'm a walking solution. So you got your religious hustlers on YouTube, your pseudo-economists on YouTube, your reparations opportunists on YouTube, your historical scapegoat artists. And then the last group, your last group, you got a couple more, but who I'm gonna put in the last group? I'm gonna put, we're gonna call this group activists without no action. The YouTube activists. These are the people who look like they tackling problems because they always talking about current events. They're always talking about current events. But they don't ever do nothing. They just report. Journalists without action and no real research. So they're not even journalists. They just report what else they hear. No action, no organizing. Activists without action. How the hell are you going to be an activist without action? How are you going to be an activist without no action? Social justice warrior. Let me say this about the social justice warriors. Not all of them, but most of them. You know what I see? When I study these so-called social justice warriors, hit me for the flyer, 215-989-9858. Hit me for the flyer, 215-989-9858. What I see with these social justice warriors, what I really see are economic hustling in the name of black pain. That's what I see. I see people profiting off of black people's pain. That's what I see. Black pain profiteers, not social justice activists. Black pain profiteers. BPP, not the Black Panther Party. Black pain profiteers. There's too many people profiteering off of black pain. First of all, let me say this. You are not fighting for nobody black if you are taking money from the U.S. government. Let me say this again. Social justice warriors. Social justice warriors. There's no way in hell you're getting grants from the U.S. government to fight for black people. against the U.S. government. Does that make any sense to you? Everything that happens to us is sanctioned by the government. The genocide in America of African people is sanctioned by the government. If you're getting money from the government, you are a fraud. I'm talking about social justice war. I'm not calling you a fraud because you're getting a grant for your after school program, your community garden. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who claim to be fighting for racial justice with the U.S. government's money. Impossible. Impossible.
And I almost dropped this one too because I didn't want to come in when my son was living. He has a company.
That's all I'm saying. You can fool some of the people all the time, and all the people some of the time. You're not fooling King Kong consciousness. He said, but the government got the money. You got $2 trillion, and you still begging the slave house. This is why we never going to get anywhere. Because you love money more than freedom. That's black people's problem. You love the way you look. You love the way you look more than the condition of your people.
Is right. Yeah, I was gonna tell you, where is your next flight? Where are you going?
Hustling the movement, Al Sharpton style.
What's your gate?
Hustling the movement, Al Sharpton style.
No, let me see your boarding pass.
Yeah, I got this.
You cannot have a working relationship with your oppressor. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with that. If you have a working relationship with your oppressor, something is wrong.
He just came off.